Hi, I just made a whole video and then I realized I didn't press record. So I just made the whole speech to nothing. So I am going to, actually, 1 second, I need to get a glass of water because, well, shall I get a glass of water? Or should I just make the video? I'll carry on making the video. So, yeah, mainly I wanted to talk about two things. First of all, there's the program now out in the UK, in London, called My Transexual Summer. And one of the, you know, it's a reality TV that follows several transgender people throughout the summer. And, sorry about, and one of the girls in there is actually a friend of mine called Donna. And yeah, I like the program. I wasn't sure at first because there are people in there that are like, for example, beginning of transition, so they still look a little bit ropey and stuff like that. But the two younger sort of transsexual women, like Drew and Donna, are really sweet. And one of them is like fun and very outgoing, and there is Donna. And Drew is very sweet and still a bit withdrawn, but it's coming out of her shell, and you know, it's lovely to see that. And yeah, so I like the fact that they're trying to project a positive image in terms of the person that they are, and the fact that, you know, it's not a program that depicts them as dramatic character or anything like that, which is nice and it's fun. So this leads me to the second thing that I want to mention, which is something that happened to me today that I really didn't like, which basically I was going to meet my friend, and as I walked past this pizza place, there were three guys outside smoking, probably the guys that make the pizza or something, and they're Italian. And I know just because as I walked past, I noticed that they're kind of, you know, obviously looking. And no, I say obviously, and I sound really awful when I say that, but you must understand that I'm very tall, I have big breasts, I have long legs, I know that now, and that gets some people to look. But at the same time, you know, what happened is then I walk further, then I hear one of them, the short, ugly one, right, saying, "Oh, but is that a man?" Or, "But that's a man," something like that, in Italian. Nothing else, there was no like comments or anything like that. But, yeah, I was destroyed, basically. You know, I go in a paranoid mood. I start thinking, you know, like, also they didn't realize it from the front, but they saw something at the back, or what could it be? But mind you, I'm really tall, so you know, it could be just that. But just so many things, you know, so many things that I start, you know, thinking of, and you know, and then I think maybe, yeah, maybe one should like try to do as much as possible in terms of surgery, and not like think, oh well, I've got to accept everything the way it is, or I don't know, and I just go in a really dark place, and I wasn't feeling great before, you know, for other reasons that I wouldn't want to mention, but I was in a kind of very thoughtful mood before, and sorry, I'm just looking at my profile. Ooh, see, one side is good, one side is bad. Yeah, I was in my own, you know, thoughtful mode, as I was saying, so I wasn't feeling great, and that really took me over the edge. I found myself crying. And I think that taps into something deep within me, because, you know, well, no, but I just, you know, even at the moment where you know, that there's the men giving attention in that sense, which was not invasive, and then that has to happen, and you just feel like, so yeah, that is connected to the program that I was watching, because you know, I can see Donna, she's kind of out as a transgender person. She looks very pretty. That she loves being trans, she doesn't want to get the operation, and she's just, you know, faced with if, you know, they show her going to this pub, a regular pub, like sort of small village pub, and men being very like intrigued and curious and asking questions. She's very open about it, and which I totally understand. I would do the same. But at the same time, I'm thinking, you know, it's kind of hard to do. I mean, the ultimate goal of this, would it be the fact, you know, because somebody in the program was mentioning, you know, like this man was saying, I like them, basically, or I like her because she's not pretending to be something she's not. And to be honest with you, I'm in a place where, like, I feel a bit like Donna, in the sense that I do like being trans to a certain extent, and I'm not ashamed. But at the same time, I find it really hard to deal with the word man, or is that a man, or comment like that. I would like, you know, this is not the way I feel, you know, and being trans is not even the way I feel. I just feel I have a woman's heart, and I was born with a man's body, so I needed to align my body with my heart. The result of it is that I'm a transgender woman. I'm transsexual, but that's the result of the way I feel. And I don't know, you know, all this whole like, oh yeah, I like being trans. I don't know if I say this because deep down I have this conviction that I will never be completely, you know, I will never be that woman with a husband and, you know, the dog. So, you know, kind of, I better be happy with what I've got. Which makes sense anyway, it does. But should I really have no faith whatsoever in what in what my dreams are and my desires? Or maybe the day will come that, you know, I will have the husband and the dog, and I will be, yes, no, I am, yes, Mrs. I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, I'm using YouTube again as a form of therapy to kind of deal with this issue, with this problem. And I do recognize that, you know, I very much tend to cling on to the negative, you know, like that's something that happened, but like, you know, the 100 people before them didn't say anything. The guys that said, oh, hi gorgeous, how are you, or things like that, now I'm like, oh, that's cute, or all these little things I give importance about to a certain extent. But hearing, you know, overhearing somebody, you know, saying something like that, not even to me, but it just devastated, and I just cling on to that. So I know that that's my issue, you know. I just cling on to this negative and make it into my main problem, and just disregard everything else, you know. The positive, basically. So I suppose I'm getting better at it, in the sense that it takes me a little bit less time to recover from these things, but it, you know, I can't get away from them anyway. It happened last week, or when did it happen? And it's again the same thing. It's again the scenario of guys looking at me and scrutinizing me, and then one of them just comes up with this kind of thing, and yeah, so what do I do, you know? Okay, anyway, so that's it for me. Bye.